Harris calls for Americans to move past the failed policies in November and draws mockery. And rightfully so. She is totally tone deaf. It makes no sense. How's she gonna say, well, the policies has failed, the middle class is struggling? Yeah, you are running the country, really. You know, you are vice president. You and Biden are in charge of the policies that are ruining our country. So you basically admitted that your policies is not working. It's crazy. So we're gonna talk a little bit about it. Play the clip of her saying this. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account as well. So follow me on those platforms as well. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Fox News from Kristen Parks. And she reports that Vice President Kamala Harris faced ridicule on social media after she called for Americans to move on from the failed policies that, quote, we have proven don't work in an address to the economy. During a policy speech at the Economic Club of Pittsburgh, Harris emphasized her, quote, middle-class upbringing. She keep talking about that. Nobody cares about your upbringing. And pledged to, quote, build a strong middle class with proposals she rolled out in recent weeks, like increasing the tax break for new small businesses and giving a $25,000 credit to first-time homebuyers. And again, we talked about that before. That the $25,000 tax credit is gonna end up just gonna making a house cost $25,000 more. And then as far as the increasing the tax break on small businesses, why wouldn't we just go back to Trump policies where actually everyone benefit, not just small businesses, but middle class also benefit from Trump tax cuts. But anyway, I'm not gonna read what she said. Let's just play the clip here. Here we go.
Now look, my opponent Donald Trump, well, he makes big promises on manufacturing. Just yesterday, he went out and promised to bring back manufacturing jobs. And if that sounds familiar, it should. In 2016, he went out and made that very same promise.
And he delivered on that promise. A lot of these companies came back to America and started manufacturing in America instead of overseas. So what is she talking about?
About the Carrier plant in Indianapolis. You'll remember, Carrier then offshored hundreds of jobs to Mexico under his watch. And it wasn't just there. On Trump's watch, offshoring went up and manufacturing jobs went down across our country.
She's lying.
Across our economy.
Oh my gosh.
Almost two.
Only thing, it went down during the pandemic. If the pandemic had never happened, we would have had one of the best economies we've ever seen, and it was up until then. So she's saying it went down. Well, that I will give her that. Technically, it's true. Manufacturing and stuff did go down, but that's after the pandemic. It's she's not saying why it went down. It's so deceitful, so deceitful. You can't blame Trump for that when it was the Democrats who was pushing the lockdowns. Not the federal government. The states decided if they were locking down or not, and the states that locked down were the states that was that were under Democratic control. She is so dishonest.
200,000 manufacturing jobs were lost during his presidency, starting before the pandemic hit.
That's untrue.
Making Trump one of the biggest losers ever on manufacturing.
I mean, she's so deceitful, so dishonest, and the crazy thing is, she come out and say these things when most people know what the real deal is. That's why a lot of people trust Trump on the economy. Now, Vice President Kamala Harris faced ridicule on social media after she called for Americans to move on from the failed policies that we have proven don't work. Like I stated earlier, I already went over that. But Harris' comments about moving past failed policies drew jokes from conservative political commentators on social media who found her statement ironic since she's the incumbent vice president. We got I don't think did the clip actually show her saying that. I'll play this clip down here. But quote, acceptance is the first step. Former 2020 Trump campaign advisor and Fox News contributor Steve Cortez joked. Let me play this clip here. This 8-second clip here.
We just need to move past the failed policies that we have proven don't work.
I agree with her on that. You are implementing these failed policies. The green agenda, which you called the IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, which actually didn't reduce any inflation. It was actually a kind of watered down Green New Deal, which destroyed our economy even further. Every single policy idea that came from the Biden-Harris administration has hurt the economy, has hurt the average American people. And so I agree with that. We do need to move on from that. And moving on from that means moving on from you, Kamala Harris. And then we got here, who wants to tell her? Red State columnist Buzz Patterson quipped, Kamala Harris says we need to move past the failed policies that don't work. She's telling to, I guess this is a typo. I guess he means she's telling you to vote for Trump. Listen to her. Babylon Bee CEO Seth Dillon wrote. I love Babylon Bee. They got some funny satire. And then we got said new Trump ad just dropped. Conservative commentator lib of TikTok posted. And then quote, you're right. Rep Troy Niels also wrote in response. He said, quote, the American people are sick and tired of the Harris-Biden administration failed policies. November can't come soon enough. Amen. I agree with that. I agree with that. And then we got, quote, quite the optics today as Harris is out saying we need to move past failed policies while the old man is on The View saying he delegated everything to her in his administration. Posted Versus Media podcast host Stephen L. Miller. And that's true. I did the previous video that I just did today was about about Biden basically throwing Kamala Harris under the bus, saying that I basically gave her more power than any other vice president actually to do these policies, to do these things. So these policies that's going on in my administration are her policies as well. Basically with what Biden was saying. Straight up threw her under the bus. During her speech, Harris also called her 2024 opponent, quote, one of the biggest losers ever, a phrase President Biden said about Trump while on The View earlier today. Harris trails Trump with voters on key issues like the economy and inflation, according to polls. In recent weeks, she has made the economy a focus in her public remarks as she tries to narrow the gap between herself and Trump on Americans' top concerns. But is it working? Y'all let me know. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.